While one group of NCIS agents is pushed to the limit on a high-risk obstacle course, another is about to find out what happens when a prime piece of evidence is blown sky high.
What we're going to simulate here is this is going to be a Bastr's car, right in the backseat of the car. It's going to be a suicide bomber on a motorcycle. They're going to pull up next to the car, set the device up on the back of the motorcycle, walk away, remotely detonate the device. This could represent a convoy overseas in Iraq or Afghanistan. There's about a pound of explosives in the EFP, the explosive foreign projectile. That is going to be command detonated when they see the convoy going by. The only problem with the pressure plate is that you're not sure who you're going to target. You might have a person driving by that's not your target and it activates the device and the bomb. Basically, as you see here, you have what we call fragmentation. This is a nail that went inside the car. Also, you have a nail that went inside the window right here. Would have killed the passenger in the back of the back seat there. In this scenario right here, we have an explosives forming projectile that was used on this vehicle, or an EFP, typically used over in Iraq and Afghanistan. These are used typically on convoys or vehicles that are traveling along the roadside. They're placed on the side of the road in berms or in dead carcasses. And as a vehicle passes by the EFP, it's command initiated by the bomber himself, and it basically forms a copper plate which goes in the side of the vehicle, as you can see right here, and killed the passenger inside the vehicle. Also, EFPs can be placed in the ground. A lot of times they're buried in the roadside, and they're activated by the bomber, and they go up through the ground into the vehicle from underneath. What we had here is we had a roadside bomb, or a bomb that was buried inside the ground. As a vehicle drove over it, we had a pressure plate that was buried in the ground. As a vehicle drove over it, it could have been activated with a pressure plate, or it could have been activated by the bomber that was hardwired off into the woods.
3 explosions.
What you need to do is you need to pick a team leader, evidence technician, photo people, schematic artists, and decide how you want to process this scene.
3 groups of agents.
So it's kind of at an angle.
Dave, are you ready to move in closer?
Yeah, I need one more run.
All right.
There's registration and bill of sale in a plastic bag.
Their mission, under a tight deadline, determined the type of device that was detonated. With debris fields stretching several hundred yards and a tree line nearby, this is no easy task. Exactly what they might find in theater.
You guys just keep going through the left of the frame for 1 second, thanks.
Initial observations of this, the information we have is that a Navy-dependent wife and her male companion were traveling and were struck by some type of explosive device. He is deceased. The driver of the vehicle has been transported to the hospital. We haven't had a chance to talk to her yet. As they pass through this area, I have an open area here, which is leads me to believe that the device, whatever struck this vehicle, was in this berm over here based on the damage to the berm. This vehicle was moving, and it didn't come to an immediate stop. They didn't slam on brakes. So once the driver was incapacitated, the vehicle's going to move a little bit. So with the glass there and what appears to be a blast area there, that's where we're going to focus on as far as finding any type of device.
As the post-blast teams start to process the wreckage of the 3 vehicles, another group of NCIS agents are about to undergo training that could not only determine who's at fault, but that could also save their lives.
It's allowing you folks to make the choices quickly based on proper planning.
This is combat crime scene training. Get in, get out, stay safe. In short, all an agent needs to know to process evidence in the middle of potential insurgent activity.
It's a 6-week plus course that prepares our already, experienced, if you will, federal agents or special agents in various disciplines to develop a technical skill set, a mindset, a tactical awareness to operate in theater comfortably. So why did we choose this? We have a backpack that we've developed, and in that backpack is actually all the gear we need to process a death scene or a crime scene outside the wire. If you're not the observer talking, and you're not talking to the observer, you really should just be engaged in your tasks.
Young male comes out with AK-47, fires several shots towards the Marines. Marines return fire and kill the young male. The allegation by the Iraqi family is that he was handing over the weapon as directed and did not threaten the Marines, and the rifle went off by accident.
Today with the teams from NCIS, we're doing a scenario where they come in and do tactical combat crime scenes. The Marine Convoy Commander will give them a brief on what their expectations are of the agents that are with the Marines. The Marines will then travel the safest route to get to where they need to be. Once they're there, establish perimeter security, make sure that it's safe for the agents to go inside the house, and the agents will come into the house and do a hasty crime scene because we never know how much time we have on scene. My homeowner for Team A has granted permission to come into his home. He requests that you keep the damage down to a minimum if you possibly can. He and his wife and 2 small daughters have left. They have left the building. Okay. I've done a quick clear of the house. Everything looks good. Keep in mind that we could call you back out of the house at any time. Good to go? Good to go. Team A.
The structure looks like a fabricated Connex box with 2 entrances, as a front entrance and rear entrance. There is looks like a 5.56 millimeter bullet casing on the floor just at the front of the entrance. Looks like an older shell. It has been expended. The primer is indented. It has been labeled as Echo 7 with fluorescent marker. There is another 5.56 millimeter shell casing adjacent to the first one we discovered along the wall. Directly across from the main entrance, it's been labeled as Alpha 1.
7 feet.
I see several apparent bullet defects in the wall near the main entrance. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A cluster of 5 has apparent bloodstains. The other 2 do not. The door opens into the room. James, do you know which way is north? Can you give us a heading real quick? Alright guys, the back is also apparent blood station on the wall. There are apparent blood stains with footwear impressions on a rug adjacent to the coffee table, which have been labeled with fluorescent markers. Whiskey 1,
middle of the room, 10
Kilo
feet.
1, Whiskey 2.
All windows are 3 feet by 3 feet square.
Cameraman, did you get any photographs from approach angles from the windows? Right and left on the second deck. We'll do the same.
Overall dimensions, 39 feet in length, 4 feet 11 inches.
Yes.
Got it.
Lower one.
Go.
Army Avenue. 4 feet. And Navy Boulevard. You can see the other dwellings as well as the entrance to Rushy Fork
How
Road.
much more time do we need? Everything that's been photographed.
The shutters don't open.
Got a patrol about a half a click north taking fire right now. They're all moving this way. Pack up your stuff. We got to go. Back in the truck.
Let's go.
And we got 30 Sierras. Get back in the trucks.
Back it up. 30 seconds. Get back in the truck. Taking fire. Let's go.
Southwest corner of the dining room.
Moving as quickly as we can, doing as much as we could in that time frame. And then as the scene developed, we were told there's some insurgent activity that engaged a patrol up the road that was heading toward position. We had 30 seconds to break contact, collect our evidence, and get back to the vehicles and get on the move.
You guys keep your nose spread out.
One of the things as a team leader when you're downrange is, you want to get the scene and all the evidence for the examination, but you also got to maintain the tactics of your personnel and make sure you leave with all your personnel